What's up, fight fans? Thank you once again for coming through to watch another video. If you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. If you're coming back for another video, thank you so much. Much appreciated. Alright, so a fight that I've ridiculed quite a bit. I've done a video on it, talking about the lack of promotion, the shitty undercard, the fact that the fight's at the MEN Arena and I don't think it's going to sell half the tickets. I don't know what the capacity is for the MEN Arena. I think it's about 21,000, could be wrong. This fight doesn't do more than 7,000 in that arena. It doesn't do it. If it does, it's for comps. They've just given the tickets away. So that's bad promotion. That is promotion malpractice. Not just on the promoter's part. Like I think it's Hennessy promotion. So I fully understand the budget isn't that big. Plus, when you have a colossal like Mayweather McGregor going on, if you do try and do promotion leading up to the fight, even after it, it's just going to get swallowed by press clippings for Mayweather McGregor. I understand that. But nonetheless, you've got a heavyweight world title in Britain. The chance for another Brit to become a heavyweight world champion. He's the cousin of Tyson Fury, the enigma that is. You've got to sell everything. You've got to sell everything. But also, Hughie Fury and Joseph Parker have done a shitty job of promoting this fight. Shit, look, I'm not going to put them or compare them to Floyd Conor. But look at the way Floyd and Conor sold their fight. Now, again, those are two colossals, and I get it. You can't. It's hard to compare them, but come on, just look. And then you look at Joseph, who doesn't really talk, and when he does talk, he's probably mentioning more than ever. Go and watch Joseph Parker interviews, especially when he's not necessarily doing an interview for the fight, but just speaking in general. He's talking about Tony Bellew, he's talking about Dillian Whyte, he's talking about Anthony Joshua, he's talking about Deontay Wilder. He's not talking about Hughie Fury. Hughie Fury doesn't really talk. So you've got just, like I said, promotional malpractice. Neither of these guys are selling the fight. Not many people know the fight's happening, so I will promote it myself. It's going down 23rd of September. MEN Arena. I'm not even sure what channel it's on. I'm guessing it's either Channel 5 or ITV4. I don't think it's Box Nation. So Channel 5, right? It could be Box Nation. One of those three. And the fact that I don't even know which one it's on says a lot about the fight. How can I not know what channel the fight is on? But I'm a boxing guy. Look, someone asked me the other day, simply, can Hughie Fury win? Yes, I think everyone's got a chance in boxing. But if I had to bet, I wouldn't bet on him. If this fight, if they fought 9 to 10 times, I think that Joseph Parker could win 9. Hughie Fury could win 1. And then this is not a slight against Hughie Fury. Look, Hughie Fury potentially could be a very good boxer. We just don't know. We just haven't seen much of him. He's had 20 fights. He's only fought 2 times in 2016. Well, from the start of 2016, believe it or not, he's fought twice, and this will be his 3rd fight. So in nearly 2 years, this kid's only had 3 fights. Yes, we know he had some sort of illness with the acne on the back. No one still really knows what that is. It's not being cleared up or clarified, I think, properly. But regardless, if you're a contender coming up, I just don't see how you're not active every other month. Because he's fighting bums, and I mean it honestly. You look at his record, he's not fighting the greatest of opponents. I mean, this is the guy that fought Larry Olabamiwo. I think Larry was a late replacement, but regardless, fought Larry Olabamiwo, who I think had lost something like 18 straight after coming off PEDs, and I think he knocked him out in the 2nd round. You've got to be out next week. You've got to be out a couple of months later, max. You know, there's no point in taking 3-4 months to have fights. I just don't understand it. So the reasons he will lose: inactivity, experience. He's yet to have that acid test. When you think of someone like Joseph Parker, and I remember watching Joseph Parker 6 fights ago and he fought Carlos Takam. Acid test. Guys, if you haven't seen that, go and watch that fight. He is put through it. And that's a guy now that knows once it's time for a gut check, he knows he's got a bit of resolve and can come through it. Once it's time to a case of, yes, I can give it, but can I receive it? He knows he can receive it and also give it. No sexual innuendos there, please, people. So he knows what to do when the going gets tough. Hughie Fury doesn't know that, because every fight he's fought, really, the guys have just laid down. A couple of opponents have fought back, but really and truly, it's been very, very comfortable. I don't think he's fought anyone in and around the top 25 yet. Sorry, top 20. And I don't see how you fight for a world title and you haven't fought anyone in the top 20 yet. I just don't see it. People might say, oh, look at Anthony Joshua, but come on, we knew the pedigree Anthony Joshua had. We knew the pedigree. And we knew the acid test he had against Dillian Whyte. So we've seen some for it. So don't do the comparison. That's not fair. When you compare it to, we talk about inactivity, when you compare it to someone like Joseph Parker, who is fighting, This will be Joseph Parker's 7th fight since the start of 2016. So you've got a world champion that's quite busy, a guy that's really up and coming, getting the fights quite busy, and you've got a guy that's just a novice / contender, not busy. And I think that could be a problem. Is Joseph Parker that good? No, he's still learning the game. Like a lot of these heavyweights out there right now, and Joshua included, he's still learning. He will get better. He's strong. He's a bit flat-footed for me, which is why when I say Hughie Fury could win 1 out of 10 fights, because Hughie Fury definitely is a bit awkward. He's a bit unorthodox in his striking, he's punching, and striking, but too much MMA in my head. Punching, and I think that comes from the Fury camp. Tyson Fury is exactly the same thing. I mean, that awkwardness, that unorthodox style could pose a few problems for Joseph Parker early on. So almost like McGregor Mayweather, first 2 or 3 rounds could be tricky for Parker, just because the style's a bit tricky. His hands are very loose, Hughie Fury. He kind of fights very lateral, a lot of lateral movement as well. He's not rigid and awkward and come forward like a lot of Joseph Parker's last few opponents. So that could pose a problem for Parker. But I think once he works that style out, and I think he will work that style out, he's got Malik Scott in for sparring, who's also quite awkward like that. I think it will just eventually wear Hughie Fury down. Could stop him. Could get a point decision, but I expect him to stop Hughie Fury. Look, I think potentially Hughie Fury is very, very good. Potentially, but I just don't like the idea of him being matched relatively difficult without us seeing him in against a Derek Chisora. Let me see how good you are. Derek Chisora is, for me, in and around the top 20, right? I think that's fair to say. Most people have Derek Chisora maybe 15th, 16th in the world. Let's see how good you are against someone like a Derek Chisora. Dylan White for me is in and around the 14, 15. Let's see how good you are against someone like a Dylan White before you take on someone like Joseph Parker, who I consider in my top, maybe around top 7. Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't know. Is this a mandatory? I'm thinking it is a mandatory. I don't know how on earth this is a mandatory. I think it is. I don't think it's a voluntary. If it's a mandatory, how the hell did he get a mandatory position when his last fight was it Fred Cassie? Was it Cassie? I think it could have been. But nonetheless, I'm happy for the Furies. I do like the Furies as a camp. I like the Furies as fighting men. But inactivity, they need to sort that out. Not just with Hughie, with Tyson as well. They need to sort it out. But look, they're unbeaten as a camp in terms of Tyson and Hughie, so they're definitely doing something right. But I think this could be a bit step too far for Hughie Fury this soon. If Hughie Fury has what, 3-4 more fights, then fight someone like this guy, no problem. But I feel like we haven't seen him with a gut check yet, and I don't think a world title fight is where you want a gut check. You want those fights before a world championship level fight. And unfortunately for him, I think Joseph Parker is world championship level. He's got a belt, so it's not an obvious statement, because I don't think everyone with a belt is world championship level. But nonetheless, I definitely have him he's definitely rubber stamped concrete in my top 10. Whereas Hughie Fury, I don't know where the hell he is. He could be 50 for all I know. So he could, I don't know, could spring a surprise, but I don't think so. What do you guys think? Let me know. Peace.